For Aries in 2026, Neptune enters your first house, Aries, at the end of Jan. Saturn enters Aries in the middle of Feb, around Valentine's Day. While Neptune makes you psychic and sensitive, Saturn is gonna stay in your first house for the next 2 years, while Neptune is gonna stay in your first house for the next 12 years. Neptune makes your body sensitive. You have to take care of your health. Neptune also gives you psychic powers. Saturn, because it is in first house is your vitality. Saturn can affect your vitality. It can make you have less energy. It pushes you to be self disciplined in terms of maintaining your body or your health. You have to take extra care of your health while Saturn is here. Losing bad habits is a good situation to be in. If you want to lose weight, Saturn in the first house is really good for that. Saturn can stabilize your life, or it can cause you a lot of distress before it stabilizes your life, your sense of self. Saturn in the first house gives you a lot of focus on yourself. You're questioning your self worth, you're questioning where you stand in the society, you're questioning everything all about you, your health, your body, your public image, your self concept. This is a time to build all of those, and Saturn will push you to do that. One way to overcome Saturn's distress is to maintain discipline, push yourself to work out regularly, have disciplined bodily habits, limit the content of alcohol, limit things that are bad for your physical health. Although Saturn in the first house gives you a stressful time for the next 2 years, but the second half of 2026 and the first half of 2027, Jupiter will be trining Saturn's house. So, at least for that year, it won't be that bad. So, you're going to be really stressing for 1 year at most, and 1 year it is a little bit less stressful. Saturn in the first house can also have a stabilizing effect. So it could simply make you a much more mature and responsible person while it is in the first house for the next 2 years. So Saturn goes a retrograde at the end of July 2026 until almost in the middle of December 2026 in your first house. While this is happening, Saturn kind of delays things even more, or you might have to reevaluate or revisit certain topics regarding yourself, things that affect you very personally. It could be your body, it could be your self image. So Uranus has been in your second house of Taurus since 2018. Second house is your income house, so savings or your general stability in terms of your income or how you maintain your income. Also, how you maintain your food habits haven't really been stable, they have been pretty erratic. And this has been there since 2018 for the past 7 years. Finally, Uranus will move out of there at the last week of April. Uranus will stay in Gemini for the next 7 years. Okay, Uranus enters Gemini, which is your third house. So you will have stability of income once Uranus is out of your second, and third house is a much better house to handle for Uranus than second. So you'll feel a lot better in general. Third house, you could have sudden ideas, sudden thoughts. The communication style could be different. You could be interested in coding or AI or in learning related to robotics or any new age new stuff. You will become an out of the box thinker for the next 7 years. Utilize this energy thoroughly. You're gonna do great things ahead. Jupiter has been in your fourth house of Cancer since June 2025. It will stay there until the end of June 2026. Till the end of almost July 2027, Jupiter will enter your fifth house, which is Leo. So your focus until end of June 2026 is still in the home front. You could be buying new property, you could be moving into new home, Your relationship with your family is pretty great. Your relationship with your mom is pretty great. Your mom had something good happen to her. It's a good time it's a good family time with Jupiter in the fourth. When it moves into fifth, this is a time to date more, or you could get pregnant. Great time to get pregnant. Jupiter in fifth house is also the house of parties and events. So there could be a wedding, it could be your wedding, it could be an important event in any of your relatives' lives. It could be your sister's wedding or your sister's baby shower. So, yep, that is Jupiter in fifth. You're gonna expand your horizons when it comes to your hobbies. You could be starting new ventures, new project, new businesses with Jupiter in fifth. And you could have a lot of luck with your children, especially your first kid. Your dating life is also much more livelier. You're meeting good people, you're meeting positive people. Jupiter is currently retrograde in Cancer, and it's gonna stay retrograde until almost the end of second week of March 2026. So the topics of Jupiter in your fourth house can be a bit delayed. There could be some re-evaluation, revisiting certain topics of your home, your family, and buying or selling of property. Middle of December 2026 till middle of April 2027, Jupiter is going to be retrograde in Leo. This is a time there could be again a re-evaluations, a revisiting of certain topics in your fifth house of children, your hobbies, your dating life. Enjoy your Jupiter in fifth. So the end of July 2026, North Node moves into Aquarius while South Node moves into Leo. So the first half of 2026, you're still dealing with topics of mental health with a North Node or Rahu in your 12th house. You are spending way more, you are overthinking, you're getting psychic downloads, you could be traveling more abroad. South Node in the 6th house, your physical health and your mental health are also points where major changes can occur. North Node ingresses into your 11th house at the end of July, and it stays there until the end of March 2028. So for almost 2 years, or more like 1.5 years. So North Node moves into your 11th house, which is Aquarius, and the South Node will move into your 5th house, which is Leo. So you have major events happening along this nodal axis from the second half of 2026, and this axis stays pretty active until the end of March 2028. With North Node in the 11th, you are going out more, you are more on the internet, you are attending more events, you are making more friends, way more social than before. Connecting, you're making new friends, you're creating new networks, new communities, you're into social activism. The first eclipse of the year 2026 happens around 17th of Feb. This is a partial solar eclipse. It is not as strong as a total solar eclipse, but yep, it's still there. So the new moon occurs in Aquarius. So topics regarding your 11th house tend to be more in focus. Of course, 11th and 12th, because the moon kind of shifts immediately. You could be making new friends. You could be attending some kind of an event, important event. You could create a new social media persona or social media image. You're starting something new regarding networking. Again, this is partial solar eclipse. It's not that strong. Around 17th and 18th of Feb. The next eclipse happens around 2nd or 3rd of March, depending on where you live. This is a full moon, and it is happening in the signs of Pisces and Virgo, which is your 12th and 6th houses. So both health houses. One is mental health, one is physical health. So major changes in along this axis. You could be going abroad. You could be starting a new workout routine. You could be starting a new job, because sixth house is also one of the houses of careers. You could be changing from one project to next project in your job. There could be changes in terms of your colleagues or co-workers. You could be going abroad. Major changes regarding your expenditure can happen. So yep, so this is a pretty potent lunar eclipse that happens around 2nd or 3rd of March in 2026, with regards to your physical health, mental health, and all the topics that I've mentioned just now. You could be getting a new job, new workout routine, seriously taking care of your health, reviewing your health, both mental and physical, or one of them. By the time we go to next eclipse, the nodes have shifted. Both the next eclipse happen in August, and the nodes are in Aquarius and Leo axis. So around 12th or 13th of August, again depending on where you are, there's a new moon in Leo, which is your 5th house. This is total solar eclipse. Total solar eclipse is pretty powerful. So something, you could be starting a new project. Pregnancy is very much on the horizon. Someone could be getting married, or proposals happening. Meet your future life partner. You could be dating, and it's a huge turning point in your dating life. It's a happy, 5th house is a happy house. So yeah, I'm hope it's usually good changes happening here. So yeah, enjoy this and good luck with that. The next one at the end of August, around 27th or 28th, is the full moon, which is partial lunar eclipse. So the nodes are in Aquarius and Leo, while the planets are in Pisces and Virgo. Again, this is not that strong. The repetition of your mental health and your physical health, and you going abroad, are you starting a new career, or you starting a new workout routine, are a probability again. This is partial, it's not as strong as the March 3rd situation. So, Mercury retrogrades only in water signs in 2026. All the three water signs, it starts. Mercury enters Pisces in the second week of Feb, and it stays there for 67 days. Mercury enters Cancer at the beginning of June, and it stays there for 69 days. Mercury enters Scorpio in the beginning of October, and it stays there for 67 days. The first retrogression in Mercury happens at the end of Feb until the third week of March in Pisces. So you could be revisiting topics regarding your mental health. There could be delays in your abroad travel. Information could be delayed. Misinformation can happen. So double check and triple check everything. Double check the prescription for your mental health, your medical prescription. Double check the timings if you have to go abroad. And the end of June till the third week of July, Mercury retrogrades in Cancer for 24 days, which is your 4th house. So the topics that could be repeating are usually regarding your home. So delays regarding any documentation, regarding any property or your home. There could be house repairs. Again, misinformation regarding house repairs, or you're just redoing, reevaluating stuff, mostly regarding your home. Last week of October till mid-November is when Mercury retrogrades in the sign of Scorpio for 20 days, and this is your 8th house. So topics regarding fertility, topics regarding life and death, topics regarding research in general. Mercury is obtaining a lot of information. It is also your house of investments, inheritances, other people's money. So you could be gathering a lot of information regarding this particular house. Scorpio is also a very sleuthy sign. So you are researching and you're digging information regarding not just 8th house topics, but in general. You could come up with some breakthroughs during this time. Of course, there is always the redoing and reevaluating whatever information you have. That is always happening, and there could be some delays or misinformations regarding 8th house topics. Again, life and death, fertility, reproductive organs, excretory organs, taxes, inheritance, spouse's income, investments, stocks. In 2026, Venus retrogrades are between signs of Libra, your seventh house, and Scorpio, which is your eighth house. Venus ingresses in the second week of August and stays there until the second week of September, and it ingresses back again in the end of October and stays there until the first week of December. In total, Venus stays in a Libra for 75 days, so you can plan accordingly. So there's a lot of scope for relationships. Relationships become a theme for you. You could be finding the one that you can end up getting married to, or you could have really peaceful and happy dating life during this time. You could find that perfect Venusian partner that you've always been looking for during these dates. Yeah, this is a major relationship time for you. Yeah, marriage definitely seems to be on the cards. Marriage, good relationships, you starting a business seems to be on the cards. That's a lot of days. So, yeah, lucky you. Good luck. Venus enters Scorpio in second week of September and it stays there until the last week of October. It re-enters Scorpio in the second week of December and it stays there until the end of first week of Jan next year. So in total, it's gonna stay in Scorpio for 79 days. If it's just 2026, it's gonna stay in Scorpio for 71 days. And Scorpio is your eighth house. So Venus in your eighth house is extremely good for financials. You have a much easier financial time. If you have lent money to other people, you will be getting it back during this time. It's an excellent time to make good investments. It's an excellent time for your sexual life, and it's an excellent time for your reproductive health as well. You could be extra fertile during this time. Really good physical intimacy, really good emotional intimacy. All in all, again mostly geared towards a relationship but also finances. So yep, you're a great time. Utilize it well. Please note, I can't advise on your investments. Those are your own personal things, but it is usually a good time to invest when Venus is in the 8th. You'll see improvements in your financial side of life. Financials are much easier. Getting money from other people, dealing with banks, dealing with investments becomes a lot easier during this time. Venus is retrograde in Libra from the last week of 2026 till till mid November 2026 in Libra. So during this time, you could be revisiting topics of your relationships. Maybe you guys broke up and you're patching up. Your ex could be reconnecting with you, or you could be repeating same old patterns in relationships, or there's a lot of redoing or reevaluating things and terms during in terms of relationships. Also business is also focus. You're redoing, reevaluating something regarding business the end of October till mid November. Also, Venus is retrograde the second week of October till the end of third week in October in Scorpio in 2026. So within these 2 weeks, you are revisiting and redoing topics related to 8th house again, which is taxes, inheritances, fertility, your spouse's income. Venus retrograde also kind of slows things down. So, yep, keep that in mind, and yeah, good luck with your Venus. There is no Mars retrograde in 2026. So, things regarding your physical health, because Mars rules your first house, and things regarding your one of the financial houses, your 8th house, your sex life, your fertility, your finance, your investments, All of these things, they usually tend to move smoothly because there's no Mars retrograde, but also there are retrogrades happening in these particular houses. So can't speak for that time. For this year and next year, Mars is gonna travel between Leo and Virgo. It's gonna stay in the sign of Leo for 141 days. It's gonna stay in the sign of Virgo for around 150 days. If it's just 2026, it's gonna stay in the sign of Leo for 59 days, and it's gonna stay in the sign of Virgo for 35 days. So Mars enters Leo, which is your fifth house, at the end of September, and it stays there almost until the end of November. Again, it re-enters the same house next year. Mars enters Virgo at the end of November, and it stays there until the end of third week in Feb 2027. A lot of your energy is focused between is focused in your fifth house and in your sixth house, because it is a personal planet. It rules your it is your ascendant lord, so it has a lot of power. So you could be dealing with topics regarding children. Again, fifth house topics, again, like children, pregnancy, your dating life. This is a time you could have fights. This is also a time you could have breakups. There could simply be a lot of disagreements with the person you're dating. Also, they could you might not be getting along with your kids. You're fighting more with your kids. Your kids are being more rebellious. You have a lot of energy to focus on your hobbies. You have a lot of energy to focus on your dating life, and you have a lot of energy to focus on your kids. You could this could also turn into an entrepreneur venture, because you're focusing all that energy, and you could be starting some kind of new project, and this project could turn into a business in the future. Mars in Virgo from the end of November to next year, Feb, to third week of next year, Feb 2027. The focus is more on your physical health. You are working out more. Health, also your daily routine. You could be working more. There could be disagreements with your colleagues or disagreements with at work in general. But yeah, you are very quick with things you have to do, and you're just in that go 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 attitude. Aries, that is your 2026. For detailed descriptions, you can follow the monthly stuff. I hope it helped.